Everyone in SEO is looking for a competitive advantage. And SEO is like war, is it not? Divert your eyes to the screen, but before you do, I want to mention that this video comes about after receiving a comment from a recent viewer regarding a past technique that I shared about powering up the lowest common denominator, the weakest links. And the viewer said, Chris, why wouldn't I send backlinks to the strongest links? And he's got a point. But let me just demonstrate with a small drawing here. I'll explain this and then I'll walk you through the process of exactly how you can power up your battlefield. Now take a look at this screen here. This is a battlefield. Much like SEO, ranking in Google is certainly a war. When you're taking a look here, you can see that your front line, these are your strongest warriors. Of course, the largest, the biggest, the baddest, really. This is your strongest. Next strongest is next, and that's the green guys here. As you can see here, they're not as big, but they're just as strong. And then in the back, you have your weakest warriors. They're in the back. Now, but when you take a look at this battlefield, do you notice something other than a beautiful drawing? Do you notice something here? What you notice is these guys might be the biggest, the strongest. These two might be second largest and the strongest, but there's twice as many weaker warriors. So I want you to look at this instead of looking at it like war, how I'm describing. Let's look at this as backlinks. And then I'll explain further and then I'll walk you through the strategy. Stick with me. If we take a look at this here, and let's just say that, for instance, these are your DR60s. All right, these guys here are our DR60s. Okay, we're going to use DR because I know that Ahrefs has a lot of people like that metric, or DA, however you want to look at it. These guys here are probably your, I don't know, DR 45s. All right, let's just say 40s just for sake of argument. All right, and then back here, all these little guys here are your DRs 0 through 10s. Okay. Now, if you've been doing SEO for any period of time, when we're looking at this, we have our least amount, or our first tiers a lot of times are going to be our strongest links. Second tier, third tier, and even making up our backlink profiles, the majority of our links are probably, maybe not in this range, but not as powerful. We only have a few very strong hitters, right? In a lot of cases. Some sites are different. So with that being said, again, if you've been doing SEO for any period of time, you are fully aware that what's going to be easier for me to power up? Is it going to be easier for me to get this DR60 to a DR65? Or is it going to be easier for me to get these 0 to 10s into the 20 to 30 range? Right? It's going to be a lot easier for me to strengthen the overall army by targeting the weakest common denominator other than sending links to an already strong soldier or a backlink for this instance. So the objective here is to power the overall army. The overall authority is what we're trying to raise up. And also, there's so many more of these because they're linking to so many more pages. So for an overall stronger army, for an overall stronger backlink profile, we're looking to target and strengthen the weakest common denominator, which lies this strategy, where we're tiering, we're building backlinks to our backlinks to further strengthen the overall backlink profile of our websites. Furthermore, increasing the rankings of all of our pages site-wide and all of our rankings. So let's just go ahead and walk through this strategy briefly. And I laid it out for you. I explained it a little bit better. I hope that this gives you a better understanding of the overall strategy as a 10-mile away look, right? But now let me walk you through of exactly how we would go about doing this. So if you were to come into here and we open up our browsers here, we're going to go ahead and just log into, say, SEMrush. So when we come into SEMrush, and I'll utilize my backlink profile, so we're just going to do Chris Palmer Marketing, okay? And as we take a look here, just for explanation purposes, I'm going to look at referring domains just so I can show you something, and then I'll show you what to do step by step. Bear with me here. So when we take a look at our authority scores, as we can see here, we have a big majority between 0 to 30. I would venture to guess that your backlink profiles, unless you have a massive budget, is probably similar to this, where we have some stronger links in the 50 plus range, but nowhere near as many as we have in our weaker ranges. But we want to bring this up. We want to bring our power up. So let's walk through how we can go about doing this. Now, what I do a lot of times is, instead of singling out just this one or that one, a lot of times I'll walk you through what I like to do here. And I'm going to actually do it for myself here. Is I'll head over here to my backlink profile. I'll click on active, as you can see here. I'm going to go in here to follow. So I have my active links, my follow links. There's only 500 of them. What I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and just make sure that we're going to go to filters. We're going to go to exclude. Let me just see here. Site-wide. No, we're going to actually... I think we can leave these, actually, now that I look about it. I don't think we have to exclude any. We're going to go to active. We're going to go to follow. There's 578 of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to export these here like this. We'll go to Excel. We bring that sheet up just like this. We're going to bring it over to here. We're going to open this up here. We'll go into here. We'll just go over to here. Let's go in here to Sheets. We'll just open one of these bad boys up. We'll go to File and Open. We're going to go over here to our uploads, click on this, go to our most recent, bring this file up. Alrighty, now that we have this, what we can do here is we can take a look at our authority scores. So we can see here that, okay, so these guys here are probably, so here's the source URL. So here's our source URL. So this one and this one are probably delete selected columns, right? And then this is our target, our anchor. So here's what we want to do. We'll get rid of these. We will go ahead and go to delete columns. Then what I want to do is I'm just going to clean this out. I'm going to go to delete this row, and I'm going to take a look at my list here and make sure that it's looking pretty good. Looks pretty darn good to me. And then what